Hello and welcome back to VMTV Vaults with myself, Kyle Diamond, and my guest for this episode, Mr. Chrissy Mountford. Chrissy is 5-1 as an amateur competing in the promotion Battle Arena. If you follow us on social media, you will know that Chrissy recently won our monthly award for the Violent One for his most recent performance, a first round Anderson Silva style front kick that is absolutely incredible if you haven't seen it. We talked, just to catch up really, about life as an amateur fighter, balancing gym with everything else, the pressures of going pro, and just competing on Battle Arena, and when he intends to make that big leap to the professional world of mixed martial arts. I'll let the man himself tell you all about it as usual, Mr. Chrissy Mountford. So I feel like there is nowhere else that I could possibly start other than your last fight. Because obviously we've already you got the award for the Violent One, for the knockout, which if anyone hasn't seen it, go see it.
Yeah.
I heard that you had been practicing that before the fight. Is that true?
Yeah. Which one? The knockout for the Violent One award?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, it's something that my leg kicks have always been effective. Like if I'm sparring and stuff. Because obviously, we are all quite respectful when we're sparring, but we'll always dig the leg kicks in a little bit. And my leg kicks are always quite effective. So the intention was on the build up to the fight to sort of open up the opportunities for my hands with my leg kicks.
Right.
And then what happened was we were warming them up. And I was firing the leg kicks into my coach Harry, and then I started sort of playing about with it and just turning it into a teep. So after scoring a couple of leg kicks, just sort of fake the leg kick and turn it into a teep. So we were warming that up, and then it was literally we were walking down the stairs to the fight, and my coach Harry goes to me, "You know what, mate?" He says, "Just fucking put it in his face." And honestly, I was like, yeah, mate, that's fucking going to happen. So obviously we got onto the cage, and I scored the two leg kicks, and I squared him up with my leg kicks, and I thought, it's got to go upstairs now. You know what I mean? He's ate them leg kicks, and it's got to go upstairs. So it was just literally a case of looking down, sort of turning my hip as if it was going towards the legs, and then just shooting it up. And it was just bang on the button.
That's crazy. That must be a crazy feeling, right? Because if your coach had never said that as you're about to go fight, it wouldn't have happened. Which obviously, no. And it's exactly. An incredible clip as well that I've seen other places pick up on as well and stuff. So like I said, it's got to be a weird moment that that is so close to not happening.
I know exactly, because the chances are, I would have just put it into his chest,
right?
Because that's what we're warming up, and it's that obviously that technique's not something you're going to do in the gym when you're sparring, because obviously it's a bit of a naughty technique, and it's you're not going to do that to your mates. So it's not really something that that you sort of is on top of your mind. But like I say, Harry just said to me, "You know what, mate?" He's just just put it into his chin. So yeah, he's a good man.
How have your experiences been on Battle Arena in general?
Yeah, you know what, Battle Arena is just you just feel. It's just it's such a well-run professional show. For me, it's the biggest. It's the biggest amateur show in my opinion, because what other shows are bringing in fighters from other countries.
Right.
And James is doing that. So we're getting fighters coming across from other countries, and we're getting some good fighters on the show now. And the way it's run, the venues are just so smart. The venues are all big venues. He's got the big screens going on. It's just it's as good as any show in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. How it must be a difficult thing with like you said, the quality that Battle Arena are getting is really, really good. And I think that's just a testament to how far the amateur scene has come in recent years. But as an amateur fighter with a record like yours, with all but one of your wins are via finish, you must get it a lot of, when are you turning pro? When's it going to happen? Because amateur MMA in the UK isn't really in that place at the moment where I think people are so used to it, other sports and stuff like that. So how tough is it to kind of stay, like, keep your head down and just keep getting those amateur performances in?
Yeah, well, the thing is, because for me, I train when I'm training to fight, I train every night anyway. You
Right.
know, I'm not going to sit here and say I train morning and night, because I don't, because training in the morning, it just doesn't suit me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like getting out of bed any earlier than I have to. But, my evening sessions are usually like 3 hours long, because I will get my cardio in before or after my class. So, you could say that, like, I train like a pro anyway. And when you speak to a lot of the other amateur lads and you see what they're doing, a lot of them are training like pros now. There's not many amateur lads out there who are only training 3 times a week. A lot of amateur lads, they're doing the weight cuts, they're getting sponsored. It's getting so close to professional fighting anyway. And just obviously a slightly different rule set, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. How tough is it balancing that with everything, with like everyday life, of having that 3-hour block? Because, like, I've spoken to even pro fighters in the past who, it's difficult to balance with a day job. But I suppose when you're pro, it's easier to justify it to other people. I suppose is the impression I would get. So how difficult is it keeping that up every single day?
Yeah. Well, I think because people know how serious I take it, like, my family and my friends know, like, obviously I want to be a good fighter, and it's something I've done all my life. So, like, my missus is so supportive. Like, if I come in from work, she's like sorted out tea and stuff, she's making sure that I'm eating right. And then, she's sort of taking care of like everything at home so that I can just go and train. It just means that, there's a lot of missed sort of family time and stuff. But like I say, everyone around me like understands that, that's what I do. And I think on the flip side, they know that if you don't take it too serious and, you do start missing sessions, or you're not training, as hard as what you should, then that's when, you perhaps ain't going to be the best version of yourself. So, I'm quite fortunate that I've got a lot of support around me for do that. But don't get me wrong, it's mentally like hard to finish work and then just get in. And, when it is like getting sort of colder evenings and stuff, and all you want to do is just sit on the sofa and chill with a brew, like, it does get a little bit harder mentally. But then when you've got those fight dates coming up and stuff, it's just extra motivation for go. And especially with like my last couple of fights with the finishes coming, it's just making me want to just be even, a better fighter. It's just, I'm putting more pressure on myself to learn more, and, so I can keep getting them finishes, really.
Talk to me about, obviously we just talked about how difficult it is to go to the gym and stuff, but that your gym, Warfare Academy, is one of the exciting gyms at the moment. Talk to me all about it. Like, what kind of guys you in there with? Who do we need to keep an eye out for? Because I think it's got some big things coming.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know what, right? So I was boxing for quite a while, and like I was with some really good boxing teams when I was growing up. And when I stopped boxing, like, I couldn't find in MMA, like locally, I couldn't find a team that was sort of similar to what I'd been with before. But then when I walked into Warfare Academy and I met the lads, it was like we clicked. And you look around the gym and it's just like an old school fight gym where all the lads are working hard. Everyone's, sort of pushing each other for different things. There's no egos, there's no jealousy. So that straight off the bat, it was just like positive energy, people pushing each other. And then with the actual coaching side of things, the proper coaches, it's that, they're not in it for sort of the self and like it's all about them. It's like the coaches there just want the lads doing well. And then on top of that, the coaches have got the fight IQ from their experiences and their knowledge. So then they're feeding that onto the lads, but with the best possible intentions. So like, it's just such a good group of guys. The young fighters coming through, I mean, obviously I'm, sort of one of the more, sort of senior guys in there, with a good lot of experience. But there's a lot of young kids coming through there that, there's a kid called Jensen. He's only young, really good fighter. He got a head kick KO. I think I might have sent you a clip of that, actually.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I might have sent you a clip of it, but if not, then I'll send it you over anyway. Because he got a head kick KO in his debut. We've got a guy fighting this Saturday, Tom Burton. He's fighting at Gloucester Battle Arena. Yep. He's 1-0. He got a finish in his first fight. There's a guy called Brad Finn. He's again a good fighter. He's more sort of K1 in Thai boxing. He's like one of my main training partners. He's got a very similar style to me. There's just, you know, I could talk about them not all day, but they're all coming through. They're all good lads, to be fair. So
yeah. I know that I already said to you about the pressure of being an amateur fighter and constantly being asked when you are going to make that transition. But I feel like I have to ask you, like, how long do you see yourself being an amateur for? Obviously, it's been difficult with people not being able to get fights for a couple of years. So I'm sure that that's halted so many people's plans of when they wanted to turn pro. But how far away do you see that?
Yeah, I think to be fair, like, you know, I'll speak to James and I'll speak to my coach Harry, but I don't know, maybe the next fight, I'll be pro. But I'll see if I can get a good fight as an amateur, you know, an interesting fight. Then that'll sort of keep me as an amateur just maybe for one more. But with all my experience and, you know, what I've done previously, there's no reason why, you know, I can't go pro soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've obviously had 7 or 8 fights as a amateur MMA fighter, but I had a lot of boxing matches before that. I've been in fighting a long time, so, you know, there's no reason why I can't sort of look at turning over pretty soon now. But yeah, like I said, I'll just speak to James at Battle Arena and speak to Harry and just see what they think.
Sweet, mate. Well, all the best with it, and thank you for your time.
Nice one, mate.
We'll get you back on when you've got your next fight booked, for sure.
Yeah, nice one. Well, cheers for having me, mate.
Yeah, sweet, mate. All the best.
Sounds
enjoy your evening, mate. See ya.
Yeah, nice one. See you in a bit. Ciao.
Thank you for checking out this episode of VMTV Vaults with myself and Mr. Chrissy Mountford. Again, as I mentioned, if you haven't seen Chrissy's most recent performance from Battle Arena, go check it out. We put it all over our socials because it won the Violent One award, because it is truly one of the best knockouts you will see this year, and I really mean that. Thank you to Chrissy for his time. We can't wait to see him back in there, of course. And as I said, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode of VMTV Vaults, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, goodbye.